So one day, we laying in the bed. I said it could be one of two things you are about to tell me. It was intense, to say the least.
Or whatever, right? Well, aren't they? That's when they all started. Well, yes, because they look like wet cats.
Oh my god.
They started with. How did I say?
Hey y'all, welcome back to another day of Vlogmas. I will be telling you a story time of how I was dating somebody and I didn't know that they were trans. So if you're interested, stick around, girl. It's, you know, it has its ups and downs. So I'm getting ready to go to an ugly Christmas sweater party, but I'm not wearing an ugly Christmas sweater, girl. So we're gonna start off with the Charlotte Tilbury setting spray. You can use this to prep your face as well. And also to prep my skin, I did use the Charlotte Tilbury Magic Cream. Girl, I don't have the full size. I just used a sample size that I got from Sephora. So I'm gonna do my brows and I'm gonna be right back. Cause I know y'all like, girl, we don't give a damn about that makeup. Tell us the story. This happened at one of my first jobs, okay? So I was a little young. And even at this point, I knew it was not a good idea to be dating somebody like so close to you. Like, I feel like you shouldn't date people that work at the same spot as you or live in the same neighborhood as you. Like, that's just a little too close for comfort. You know what I mean? So at this job, me and most of my coworkers were really cool. And one of my coworkers in particular, like, I had really become close with. And in the office, I feel like they like knew everybody because they had been there for like, you know, a longer period of time than me. And so they had met people and people kind of came like in and out of like this job or whatever. The person in question that I started dating, I kind of like wasn't checking for them at first. Like, they were clearly checking for me, but well, maybe not. Actually, it wasn't like very clear, but like I feel like it was a little bit of flirting going on. But like when we started hanging out like with my coworker friend, the one I said was like cool with a lot of people like that came in and out of the office, like you can tell he was feeling me and I was feeling him. And it was one instance that kind of like sealed the deal that we was feeling each other. So as friends, as a group, we went to the beach. And girl, somehow it looked like we was a couple on that beach. Like, he was all up under me. It felt like we were dating and we weren't even like dating at this point. Like at this point, like nothing was even spoken between us. Like about like we liked each other or we were feeling each other or what have you. But after that beach day, girl, he asked my coworker, I believe, for my phone number. And then he ended up obviously getting my phone number and we started talking. In the beginning stages of us talking, I felt like, you know, he was definitely like good with words and like very like communicative. And even though I did catch him in some lies at the beginning, and I was just like, why is you lying about that? But it came out in the end, girl. Well, it came out in the beginning rather. We, you know, it was really fun. Like, we weren't like going on like extravagant dates or anything, but like I just really enjoyed his company and being around him. So at this point, I did not know he was trans. And I don't even think my coworker friend, my friend, I don't think she knew that he was trans either. And so, and I don't want y'all to think like I have a problem with trans people, girl. No, I actually identify as bisexual. Not that that automatically makes me like trans people, because anybody can be ignorant. But I do not have a problem with dating trans people. It was just a surprise to me that I did not know that he was trans. You know, and like that just kind of opened my eyes to like, you know, trans people can be around us all the time, and like it's not really like they don't have to just announce themselves. Like I feel like people be thinking they need to announce themselves when they come in the room. Like no, I don't necessarily think that's the case. But let's get on with the story. So as time goes on, obviously, you know, we're getting closer and closer. I'm still none the wiser. And things are moving fast, y'all. Like feelings are being expressed. A lot of time is being spent together. Like it was intense, to say the least. It was very intense. And I feel like most queer relationships are intense. And this would be, I guess, my first queer relationship. So one day, we laying in the bed, and you know, he being a little touchy-feely, and I'm trying to return the touchy-feeliness of it all. You know what I mean? I want to touch a little something too. So, and as I try to touch, he kind of stops me and he's like, I need to tell you something. In that moment, I said it could be one of two things you are about to tell me. I said this to myself. Obviously, I didn't say it out loud, and I was a little taken aback because we're in my bed. Like, for someone to stop you while y'all obviously about to get into some grown-up things, okay? And to say I need to tell you something, that's a little scary. But I didn't want to like alarm him or like automatically like jump to a conclusion or whatever. I wanted to let him speak and feel comfortable in speaking. But in that moment, right when he said that, I knew that he was trans. And I was just like, oh my God. Because I literally had no idea. Like, I was gagged. Gooped and gagged, honey. It took him a minute. Like, we was just kind of sitting there, literally looking up at the ceiling. Eventually, this man tells me exactly what I thought he was gonna say. He said, I'm trans. And I was, you know, trying not to react in a way where it seemed like I was like not accepting him. But girl, just imagine you are in the bed ready to do the grown-up thing, you feel me? Let's be real. And you had like, I didn't have any inclinations. Like nobody told me nothing, okay? So like, it was a very big surprise. And like, you know, it could have went left. It could have went very left. Like, if I was any other type of person, I could have literally reacted in a violent way, you know? Like, I could have got so upset and did something where it would have caused us to have a fight or something like that. Or like kicked him out of my apartment because like, what are you talking about? And like, you know, I feel like in that moment, like I kind of had to sit there and try to process as much of the info as I could. Eventually, I was like, thank you for telling me. That is like a privilege, I feel like, to know. But I do feel like if you are getting to know someone and it does come to that point where it is important for your partner or the person you're talking to know that you are trans, like you should tell them. You know, they have a right to know. Do I recommend waiting until y'all are in bed? touching all up on each other to tell them you're trans? No, I don't recommend that at all, girl, because that could have went very left, and I'm glad it didn't. But I could see how someone would be very upset about that, because in that moment I felt like a bomb was dropped on me. And I'm not transphobic. I'm none of that. After that, we ended up talking about it, and you know, he asked me how I felt. You know, basically, did I still want to continue like dating him and talking to him? You know, I told him, yeah, like, I don't care that you're trans. Like, that doesn't change the way that I feel about you. Like, you know, that didn't change anything. If anything, it made things make a little bit more sense, okay? Because why are we moving like U-Haul lesbians, you know? And that's no shade. Like, I'm not trying to call him a woman. I'm not trying to refer to him as a lesbian. But again, this was the first queer relationship I was in. And baby, when I tell you it moved fast, it moved fast. And it also came crashing down like even faster. Things were good. Like, you know, things were good when they were good. He had a daughter. Not a daughter that he birthed, but a child that he referred to as his daughter. And so Father's Day came along. I feel like I'm talking about this because this is probably one of the last pleasant times we had together. So at this point, we are boyfriend and girlfriend, right? We're actually dating. People know that we're dating. And actually, we were living with each other. Girl. And that's because of another, it wasn't like I wanted to move in. It was more like I was helping him out. And girl, I gotta stop doing that. I gotta stop helping these niggas out, because when do these niggas help me? All they do is help me be stressed. So like I said, Father's Day came around and I wanted to do something really special for him. So I decided to have a Father's Day brunch, invite our mutual friends, and you know, just celebrate him as being a father, because I felt like no one had ever done that for him, and I thought it would be really special for him to experience that. So like I said, this was like, first of all, it was really nice. I would definitely recommend, if you ever want to throw a brunch, that girl, get the food catered. Get the food catered. And you can get it catered and like you receive the food like cold or whatever, and you get instructions on how to reheat it. So we had like potatoes, we had grits, we had sausage and egg, like we had a whole spread. And all I did was you know, spruce things up, because the grits was not up to my liking. So I definitely had to add like some more butter and like probably some, you know, half and half cream, what, something, girl, to like loosen them up a little bit. But it just takes like a lot of stress out of the evening, because you still have to like prepare your space and, you know, clean up and do all that. You don't want to cook a 7-course breakfast. At least I don't. So I would definitely recommend doing that. Girl, do I'm white? It was really a nice brunch. Everyone like really enjoyed themselves. But after that, girl, things started to go downhill. This was probably one of the most toxic relationships I ever was in. That's another reason why I kind of like refer to it as like my lesbian relationship that was not a lesbian relationship, because when I tell you, he was a little too comfortable with his language, and I feel like it was because he was trans. Like, I feel like if he wasn't trans, that he would not have been comfortable calling me out my name. You know, like I've never, and I have done some, I've called men out their name and they've never reciprocated that, okay? I never talked to him that crazy. And he, girl, would be quick to call me about my name. It was a very different experience. And like, you know, I've dealt with some things, y'all. I've dealt with some things, but I'm like, it's only gonna be so much longer that I deal with this. And again, I was young, so I was like probably willing to put up with a lot more things that I would be like, I would like put up with now. At least I hope. I hope, girl. But it was just like crazy, like especially because, you know, I feel like I had done a lot for him. Like, even though that don't mean he owed me anything, but like, you stayed with me until he like got up on his feet and was able to get his own apartment. And girl, I ain't gonna hold you, when he did get his apartment, girl, we was always over there. Yeah, let's go over there, okay? It at some point it felt like I moved in over there. But I feel like once he did get that apartment, like, I don't know, that's when he started acting kind of crazy. Because he was like verbally like abusive, I guess you would say. I had broke things off, girl. And he would just like show up to my apartment and like drop off, like, not gifts, but at this point I was really into like Dunkin' Donuts. Like, I would probably go there once a day. And so he dropped me off some iced coffee from Dunkin' and like some flowers and a note, and he just put it at my door and like text me or whatever and told me to like go get it. Woo! And y'all, like, it was like a couple like red flags in the beginning. First of all, when he told me that he was trans, he told me that he didn't like gay people. How are you homophobic and you're trans? That is real interesting, right? So I'm just like, we would get like low-key into like in arguments about it, because I'm like, how don't you like gay people? But I feel like he didn't want to be associated with a certain type of gay people. And obviously that is like a trauma response. That's not okay. Even if you weren't trans, what is your beef with gay people? Our relationship definitely went on longer than it should have. I finally did break it off. Girl, that man would find me, okay? He would find me on social media. He would email me. Still to this day, like, I will get calls from like random numbers, or he'll send me a long ass email that sounds like an Edgar Allan Poe poem, and you're just like, what is this? Leave me alone. Especially because like when obviously he reaches out, he be trying to be like so sweet and say how like I'm like the one that got away. But when you had me, you were talking to me like a crazy person. I don't know what happened, but I feel like it was just something that he was obviously like battling within himself, and it affected our relationship, unfortunately. Girl, that man recently called me and was like saying that he didn't want, like, he wasn't calling me with no intention, but then like the next day he called and was like, do I want to be friends? All right, y'all, I'm about to put on my lash and I will be right back. Finally back, but not with a mirror in sight. Hold on. That took a lot longer than expected, but the lashes look okay. These aren't my normal lash, like my go-to. My go-to lashes are actually from Amazon. They are in an Amazon favorites video on my channel. I got these from Beauty Supply. I mean, obviously they'll do just fine, but they're not giving fluffy like the Amazon ones I like. That is how I found out that my boyfriend basically was trans. To this day, that's the only queer relationship that I have had, unfortunately. I wish that I've had more. Now it is what it is. So I'm gonna do an outline with Fenty Heat. What I will say, I really feel like, you know, dating a trans man, you know, I feel like even when I was like growing up, I knew that I like women, or like I wasn't like heterosexual, basically. Like, I knew that, but I had never like really acted on it. So like being in a queer relationship, I feel like for me kind of just confirmed like, oh yeah, babes, like you are tasting the rainbow. You know what I mean? You are part of the community. Our makeup is complete, our hair is done. I'm literally done early. Ooh, like only like 30 minutes. So I am about to eat and we're about to head out, y'all. I hope y'all enjoyed this story time get ready with me. Let me know if y'all want me to do more. I have some quite interesting stories. Some stories I don't be wanting to share, but I decided to share this one today. So I believe this is going to be the end of the vlog. I may show y'all my outfit because it's giving sexy Grinch. Okay.